As a woman with a history of trauma, you know exactly how it feels to be dissociated. Dissociation means disconnected from your sense of self. This has happened to me so many times on my journey, I can't even count. And it really took me down, really hurt when I didn't understand what was going on. And I thought there was something really wrong with me and that I wouldn't be able to succeed in my business. This is very real. Now, have I always known in my heart that I'm born to help women succeed, especially with my experiences that I've gathered up until this point? Absolutely. I've always known that. What happened for me is I would get triggered, and sometimes we don't even know when we're getting triggered. And I didn't even know half the time why I was triggered or how, because I didn't have the skills and the tools and the techniques and the therapy and the coaching behind me to understand it all and deal with it all. It was completely overwhelming, like really bad. So while for a lot of my business friends, it was like, oh, they don't know what they're doing. That's normal. It's okay. You can keep going. For me, I couldn't. I felt completely disconnected, like something was wrong with me and like really wrong with me. And technically in my brain, it wasn't functioning properly. So I don't know if I would use the word wrong. There isn't really right and wrong. There's ethical, but not about making ourselves wrong on this page, especially when it comes to the symptoms of post-traumatic stress disorder or having a history of trauma. My cat's crunching on her food, so she's so cute. I'm Italian. I leave food everywhere for everybody and every being in my house. It's bad. I gotta stop. I gotta stop. Anywho, what I'm doing here today is to help you stop that horrible feeling and that crashing that happens and that disconnect that is really, really scary. Like, whoa, especially when you start to tune in what's happening and you're not using substances or, once again, food comes up. Hello. For me, that was my thing, is really numbing out with food and not even being able to see or have awareness because I was so numbed out about what was really actually happening. So once you get past that phase, it can be really scary because you're like, oh my gosh, this is going on. At the same time, though, it's very exciting because you're like, finally, I understand what's going on. See how I'm not saying I understand what's wrong. I'm saying I understand what's going on so I can do something about it if I want to. I wanted to. So what really helped me, because let me give you a real life example of what was going on first. The problem part for me, the challenge. So let's say back in the day, this is the time that it was going on for me really bad. Wanted to post on Facebook. Yes, I'm a dinosaur. The Facebook. I would say to myself every day, all I have to do is one post. I'm going to do it. I'm going to do it. I'm going to do it. I even set up tracking sheets and I would be like, yes, check it off. And I'd get stickers because I just love stickers still. In my late 40s, love them. And I would just be like, yes, 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 until the day came when I didn't do it. And keep in mind, we're talking about dissociation here. We're not talking about a cute little, oh, I missed a day or I forgot. It's deeper than that for us. It's a lot deeper. I would disconnect from that flow of doing something for doing that daily task, but also, depending on how bad things were, I would disconnect and go numb myself and like, literally, it feels like you forget about it, like completely. Like, does it even exist? No, I'm watching Netflix. And then here's where it was really hard. I would come back to my list, and quite honestly, again, this is how bad it was. This is how the disconnect can be very extreme and intense, is I would find it in a box of papers, and I'd be like, what is going on here? Like, I totally forgot about this thing. Like, literally forgot. Not just, well, it's cute, slipped the mind. Forgot. And like, oh yeah, it was tracking. And then over the years, when you see stuff like that, you're like, oh my gosh, like I'm not cut out for this. Maybe I do need to just go get a regular job. Nothing wrong with that. But when you have a fire and a passion in your heart and you know you're born for something, and then you start telling yourself, I'm not meant for that, or I'm not good enough, or there's something wrong with me, it really hurts your soul, like in a big, big way. Now, there are all kinds of accountability hacks and tips I can give you that work for people in the neurotypical world. Some of those work for me, so some of them may work for you, but just keep in mind when you see those tips, you might need a little adjusting. And there's one word today that I want to share with you that must be at the forefront of all of it, and that is acceptance. Acceptance that this is part of the process for me. I accept that this is part of the process for me. I'm so grateful to be aware of it. I get to find solutions for this, and I will. Because we always do. We're baddies, right? We do. What happened when I started accepting and expecting that this was going to happen? First of all, I got the support I needed, again, through therapy, coaching, doing my own self-development work. I got the support that dealt directly with the challenge that was getting in my way of achieving my goals. That's a huge, huge part. The other piece is that I could, with so much gentleness and self-love, go back to the tracking list. So the difference between the two is the first time I'd see my tracking list and like, oh my gosh, I'm such a failure, put it back in, go eat and watch Netflix again. Then the after is, oh yes, okay, I must have disassociated. No biggie. Self-hug, lots of love, whatever else. Like, it's not just about self-hugs. Obviously, journaling, therapy appointments, coaching appointments. Okay, great. Now, this is so normal. It's part of the process. It's more than okay. I get to keep going. See how different they feel? This is what it gets to be like for you. When you keep compassion for yourself, acceptance of what's going on, and expectations that it will happen and that it's okay. Get it? Keep going.